What
sir,
it do?
yes, sir. We are live with a Atlanta mogul right now. I don't think, hold on, man, stop. We need to stop for a second. Okay, because like I said earlier, sometimes the person that you need to talk to is normally the person doing the interview. Don't let that go over your head. So I want to bring in one of my mentors without him even knowing. Reec Sweeney, how you doing, my brother?
I'm great, bro. Appreciate y'all letting me tap in with y'all, man.
Man, listen, man. And this is, you know what's funny about this, right, is I came across you probably about 7, maybe even 8 years ago when I wasn't even living in Atlanta. Okay, I was living in North Carolina.
Where you was in Atlanta though, or in North
Carolina?
Carolina?
Nah, I was in North Carolina.
That's crazy.
Come on now.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
We traveled out here for a P. Brown event, and you just happened to be on the panel for one of her record pools, right? Shout out to P. Brown, real talk, right?
Word up.
And you gave out so much game that I'm like, dang, he really is who I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate everything that you kind of done over the years, right? So this gonna be a little different than a normal like interview, right? Because I really got a lot of conversation pieces and I got a lot of like fan questions because I'm gonna ask you some questions that I know artists want to know.
Let's go. Right? Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah.
So first off, let's kind of, for the ones who don't know, let's kind of start off with where you're from and kind of how you got started out.
That's a pregnant question, bro. So that part about how I got started out is loaded. I try to give you the cliff notes. So I'm from Jersey, originally from Jersey. Shout out to Jersey, Montclair, East Orange. I grew up, right on North Arlington. I know a lot of people came by my crib to hoop. People that played in NBA, played cross seas, all that. So I started off as a hoop head, you know what I'm saying? And played at Immaculate in Montclair, and I was right there at EO. So don't tell everybody my address was way out of time. So that's it. So from there, like I came to I moved around a lot. So I was in different states: North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, a lot of different states. But high school Jersey. So I'm gonna just say Jersey. I was born there too. Came to Atlanta hooping, basketball scholarship, right? Let me tell you about my freshman year, bro. Who I hoop with. It's the craziest thing ever. So the other guard that I played with, DJ Esco, Future's DJ.
Come on now.
Yeah, that's the other guard. The small forward, PK, worked with DTP and all them.
Okay.
Crazy, right? So that's just like, we already surrounded by people that do music, entertainment, but didn't know. Like, all that time, we all chasing the hoop dream. Maybe they knew what they wanted to do other than, I know Paris always presented himself like a business person. Myself, Esco was always like really into, music and stuff. But I don't think we all knew where we were headed, in that specific direction. You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy. So then, and shout out to all those guys. Everybody's doing amazing things now. Like the whole squad, everybody, which is rare. Like everybody's doing amazing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, how I get into broadcasting was I was doing music, had songs on Billboard, was traveling, hitting, across states and doing a tour with FYE, the music chain. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tara, Face to Face. She had us on this tour with our label, Bullseye Entertainment. We was selling out records, whoop-de-whoop. We was on the chart. It's on my IG. You scroll down my IG page, y'all. Don't leave this, but scroll down my IG. It's documented. Like, I was on a Billboard chart, sandwiched in between Beyonce and Chris Brown at one time. 50 Cent, Music Soul Child at one time. Rich Boy. So this is around that time when Throw Some D's was out and all that. So I was in those Billboard charts with those people on 3 separate charts in the top 10 for like 90 appearances straight, 90 weeks straight. It was dope. It was super dope. You know what I'm saying? There's no cap. It's all documented. So from there, I was doing radio interviews, right? And don't look the song up because it was, by today's standards, it's terrible. So I was just playing. Nah, it was dope at the time. You know what I mean? Anyway, fast forward. We was doing radio interviews. Every single time I do a radio interview, the radio person be like, "Yo, music dope, but man, you ever thought about doing radio?" Like,
You do got a radio
every
voice.
time. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but every time, bro, they be like, "Yo, you ever thought about doing radio?" Till I got to Columbus, DJ Double O Key, who been like the 6 to 10 or 7 to 11 personality down there, but he holds it down. Columbus, he was like, "Bruh," he stopped me dead in my tracks, like, "Bruh, you should do radio." You know what I'm saying? He's like, because we had performed there with another artist that night. This artist Wish is doing some dope stuff now. We performed there
You
that
said
night.
Wish?
Yeah, this dude Wish out of Columbus. Out of Columbus, Detroit. Like he's a dope artist, bro. He got a crazy label situation right now. But I had performed with him. We had a song together. I performed with him, and then I did a set, and Oki was hosting. You know what I'm saying? As a radio person was hosting the club. He's like, "Bro, your stage presence crazy. Like, bro, you do radio, you do this. Like, you could host clubs, you could do all that." So, cause I'm like it's a good stage presence. So he was just like, "Yo, you should do radio." So then we started talking about how we can make a move and this and that, and trying to infiltrate that to figure it out and all of that. So it was always a dream to do some type of broadcasting. Like when I hooped, I stopped growing, so I was like, all right, this NBA thing probably ain't gonna happen. It'll be a 6'2" guard. It's probably not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I had some
You never
opportunities to
know.
play in another place, like another country, but we had stuff rolling here with the music and with the nonprofit. We could talk about that later, but we already had that going. You know what I'm saying? So with all
Thanks.
that going, it was just like, yo, let's try to dig some roots out here and figure this thing out. And with broadcast, I thought I was gonna like either coach because I love the game still, and I still like teaching. Even when I was playing after who I like teaching while I'm playing younger dudes, teaching on them. So I thought I was gonna be like a coach or like Stephen A. Smith. You know what I'm saying? Do a hot takes and be in a broadcast because I love broadcast. I love to talk. I used to get in trouble for it in school. You know what I'm saying? But or
Right?
just saying all the wrong stuff at the wrong time, the right stuff at the wrong time. But
Right?
it ended up turning into that. So it was like, all right, we're doing music. We started figuring it out, and man, it started going from there. And then I forgot one of my other teammates, Tobias Tate, was on Love and Hip Hop, got the music thing going now, going crazy. We
Yeah.
were teammates too. So it was always like interconnected through entertainment and music and acting and stuff like that. While I was living my first quote unquote first love, you know what I'm saying, which was hoop.
Yeah.
So that's how it ended up being. Yeah.
No, keep going.
No, so that's kind of how it ended up being a radio thing. So it was like it was like hooping to music to this, and I ended up doing radio out of a passion for broadcasting. But it was like the music kind of took me there, and that ended up being like the plan. All right, we're gonna keep seeing how many times we can get on Billboard, how many radio stations we can get to, and then start trying to figure out the radio game while we doing this. And I interned at Hot for a hot second. I wasn't even in school. I'm supposed to be there, and then started doing community events with the nonprofit. We was up there like every week doing community events until one day the PD Hurricane Dave at the time was like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" It was after we did a celebrity game with Chris Brown. He was like, "Bro, you just had the crowd going crazy. All of the guys knew you already because I was out doing it. So like I knew a lot of the celebrities I was playing, the personalities." He was like, "Bro, we gotta figure something out." So that's kind of what happened.
Hey, you know what's crazy about that is we actually have a very similar story, bro. I played ball myself. I went to Utah State, and then I did a year with the Jazz. So I did get a shot, but long story short. So it's crazy that we had that similar story. And I graduated in broadcasting. I double majored, so I did broadcasting and journalism. That's super crazy that you even say that y'all started that way, because I know and feel that same story. So when it comes to your career, right, what influences did you have coming up?
As far as radio and broadcasting, man, the greats. Like I used to listen to Ed Love and Dr. Dre every morning because I was in Jersey.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was my introduction to like the picking your station that you listen to. Like, you know, everybody got, when you get in the car, you're going to turn to something to listen to it.
Fact.
And that made me know that you got to be connected to the personalities in one way or another. Them dudes was so funny, the bits they had. Like, I still remember them saying, what you got on? And somebody be like, well, I got on a sweater. And then Ed be like, but you naked under your clothes. Like, that just would be funny. Like, it was crazy. Like, crazy little stuff like that. I remember all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when Wendy Williams was having a little scandal when she was talking about, like, who was this, the rapper that wasn't heterosexual rapper, like, and then all the rappers was getting mad and calling the station. Like, it was crazy. I remember all that. Like, I remember them talking about, like, when Nori, he talked about it on Drink Champs, with how they got banned from the station and all of that. Like, I remember all those stories. So, like, I grew up at that time where it was a lot of radio stars. You know, like, we knew who Big Boy was, and he was all the way in LA. We never heard of him. And this was like predating when you had social media like that interconnect everybody that can listen. So it was that type of shit, man. But I think who I looked up to was on the radio side, because, you know, you had the privilege of having like urban and black radio, so I could listen to Ed Lover and them, Angie Martinez, all of them. I looked up to those people. But on the flip side, on broadcasting, it wasn't a lot of us doing sports broadcasting.
At all.
It was just Stuart Scott that I could remember. So it was like, I watched Stuart Scott. And when we lost him, you know, recently, it hurt, because it was like, damn, that's who I could, like, see myself as a broadcaster. Of course, Dick Vitale, as a hooper, you love his energy. Of course. That, man. You know what I'm saying? So those guys, I can remember, but I remember Stuart Scott, because I was like, oh, he's black and he's doing broadcasting. I remember all the Knicks games and Marv Albert. That's basically what all came off the Nets was trash. So Marv at the time. So Marv, you know, we had the Marbury moment, the Kerry Kittles moment, but you know.
So how do you feel about that though? The Nets moving from Jersey to Brooklyn. How do you feel about that?
I'm bittersweet, because it's like, brother, Nets fan, you like, oh, we dope now. We got the best players in the world.
Right.
But they playing in the wrong city. You know what I'm saying? So it's like crazy. But we still got the Giants, though, low key. You know, the Giants.
Very true.
So this is New Jersey Giants. All they don't know. You know, we still got a team.
Very true. True.
That's what's up. But yeah.
So through the years, you've interviewed some of everybody. Right. Some of everybody. So, you know, what's some of your favorites?
It's going to sound crazy. So one of my favorite interviews of all time was Naughty by Nature. And that's because, like, now it's supposed to be like, bro, you interview everybody from everybody. Like, the biggest stars, the biggest politicians, from Jesse Jackson down to the president, the vice president, all these people. And you're like, you going to say Naughty by Nature? It's because I'm up the street from them. Like, the first hip hop artist I saw that I could relate to, because I was that age, was Criss Cross, right? I saw them, and that's gonna sound crazy, like Criss Cross, but I saw them on TV.
No,
I could do that.
That was
one of my favorites. That was dope.
One of my
favorites. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I saw that, but the first rap, like the first hip hop song that I memorized was Naughty by Nature. You know what I'm saying? It was a Naughty by Nature, and then Tretch. I was like, yo, this dude rap fast, he rap slow, he rap it was crazy to me. And then every single year they used to throw this pool party in Jersey. So everybody would be at this pool party, and as kids, we trying to sneak in, like, and this was like, we like looking, oh, yo, that's crazy, that's Aaliyah, that's this person, that's that person walking in, that's Queen Latifah, she got. So we all looking like, yo, this is crazy. Everybody's going into this pool party. We little kids trying to sneak in, trying to get over the gate. And my man, he was cool with them, because he was like a little bit older than us, but he could hoop and play football as well. So everybody knows, like the hood stars. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
He used to let him in.
Sure.
We like trying to walk in with him, like, yeah, y'all can't come back here. Y'all wild. But me seeing them, and then seeing them, like, you might at any given time see Vinny at the McDonald's or something. You know what I'm saying? You be like, that's crazy. I just seen him on TV. And they was never like, capped us down, like they never like stunted on us, and it was always love to the little homies and whatnot, right? So it was super dope to be able to reciprocate, because at this time they was doing a 25th anniversary tour, And my man was like, he's real cool with them. He DJs for them sometime. DJ Nugget. He hit me like, yo, I'm in town. Naughty in town. What you up to? I'm like, yo, tell him to come to the station. And he talked to them. He like, yeah, we'll be there in the morning. Lit. They pulled up on me. And for them, us to trade stories, and then for them to be like, yo, we know you, it was dope. It was like a full circle moment. You know what I'm saying? It was a full circle. So I would say that was the mess, because we're talking, when as the interview go on, we start talking about stuff strictly from street on East Orange, or strictly from a period of time is where we were a couple of decades apart in age, but at the same time, it's like, damn, it's like we relatable on different things. It was dope. It was super dope. So I would say that was probably like the best one for me, was probably that one. Yeah.
That's fire, though. That's fire. I mean, I don't think you get much better than that, for real, especially with the backstory. I don't think you get much better. So now I want to kind of jump to the music business.
Right.
Because you've seen it all. Right. And you've seen the change.
Yeah, definitely.
So I got for one, there's artists want to know a lot of this stuff, and I feel like there's no better angle than yours. Right. So number one, what is the first and worst mistake that you normally see artists make?
Not understanding the business. Like it's not going to be one specific way to get on, right? It's not, everybody's story is different. It may have some similarities, but they're all unique, right? So I would say the main common denominator you hear is what? With failure is what? I didn't get this amount of money. I got messed up out of this amount of money.
I just heard the label say it.
The label did this. My manager did this. The lawyer did this. The accountant did this. All of that common denominator is understanding the music business. One of the guys on our board, Capriccio, says it all the time. Small word music, big word business. Because it's 80% of it. Like, you can have the most talent in the world, and if you don't care about business, okay, but you better get people around you that one, respect you, two, are loyal to you, and three, understand that business and have that passion for it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's it. Because the business can make or break you. Like, you could love something and hate the business. So you hoop, right?
For sure.
And you hooped at the highest level. If you went to the jazz organization, right?
For sure.
You saw where the business come in. You could be busting whoever's,
and it don't matter.
They the number one pick, and they making $30 million. It don't matter how good you are, bro. They invested in that. So you got to understand the business. All right, cool. I'm here to make him better, and you got to be okay with that. And if they go down with an injury, now you got your shot to shine, and then probably get traded to go somewhere else. Shout out DJ Monte. What up, bro? He always been. That's a legend. He just tapped in and say what up. He's always been 1,000, and this man sold more records than any music chain I've ever known.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Super producer. Shout out Monte. I appreciate you. And shout out to anybody else that said what's up. I'm sorry I missed y'all. I was just running my mouth. But yeah, bro, like I say the business, I say understand what licensing is, especially now, because we in the digital world. Licensing is gonna be key when it comes down to getting your songs on video games, television. So much content is being created. Every single TV show, every single show that's a sitcom or scripted has some type of music background. Guess what? That artist got to check for it. So that's business. Understand licensing. Understand your performance rights, right? Be with a publishing company, CSAC, BMI, ASCAP, Sound Exchange, any of those. Know what that is. Like, if you don't know those things, you lost. Understand that when you go through DistroKid, they own a part of your music because they're creating their own SKUs, barcodes, ISBN numbers. And understand all of that. I ain't going to say too much. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, you got to understand the business, because that's the part that will keep you hungry in the game. Because those that got the business right, they happy in the music industry. They don't have to tap dance forever. And I'm not saying artists are tap dancers. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to work in front of the camera for your check if you have the back end, solidified and good.
Look, there's plenty of artists that make good money behind the scenes. I tell people all the time, there's plenty of artists out there that you've never even heard of. And
Right.
they eating. They eating good.
Eating.
Eating good.
Better than the ones you see on stage doing world tours. Eating good.
Okay. Okay,
Right.
so now you leading me into my next one. I see that you must work in radio, right? So what would you tell an artist about staying and going independent
Mhm.
to going to a label and signing with a label?
It depends on the artist and their situation. Like it's always gonna boil down to what's right for you, what's right for your situation. Because let's just say I'm an artist. I made it. I'm in high school, right? And
Mm-hmm.
right, and my parents in a bad situation. I live with my
Mm-hmm.
pops. I live with my moms. I live with my grandma. They in a bad situation, and I'm making
Preach.
some great music. I got
Yep.
fans out the yin yang. I don't know how to monetize the situation. And the label comes in and says, "Yo, I'm gonna give you $100,000,
Mm.
right, for
Mm-hmm.
whatever whatever the thing is."
Mm-hmm.
Do you say, "Nah, I'm gonna hold out and be independent," or
You
I'm gonna
can't.
watch my moms, make a
You can't.
decision whether or not to pay rent or feed us every
That's
month?
real.
So that's different. Like I can't tell that kid like, "Yo, hold out, be independent." I'm gonna say, "Yo, go get the bag and let's make sure that it's structured correctly." So you
Mm-hmm.
shoot next year. If the song ain't popping next year, you still eating, you still good, and have
Mm-hmm.
an exit strategy, because your next step could be independent, where the long money is and where you have more ownership and more freedom to do what you want. You know what I mean? So I would
That's
say
a fact.
it just depends on the situation. But I will say this: if you are set up to be independent, right, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to use somebody else's money, because what a label
Mm-hmm.
is, they're a loan company, right?
That's
If you
it.
look at it
That's
like
it.
that, you understand. Label's a loan company. If
That's
you
a
don't
fact.
have to use a loan to get your business, because you are the business and brand off the ground, then bet on you, and because
Mm.
your return's gonna be better. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have any debt, so a lot of people look at it like the label gonna give me this amount of money. It's an advance, it's a loan. So what you
That's a
gotta do
fact.
is pay that back on their terms. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like if I don't have to use their bread, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna go crazy.
That's a fact. Okay. 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 Yeah, you touching my balls right now. Okay. You touching my balls. All right. So let me stay on track. Okay. Because I want to talk a little bit on consuming and how people consume music.
Right.
So let me ask you, how do you consume your music?
It depends on the day. So like
Okay.
like depends on the day. If I'm playing, like I have a CD player at the crib. I got
Mm-hmm.
a record player, like a vinyl record
Okay.
player at the crib. And of course,
Okay.
I got my title loaded. I got
Okay.
my Pandora loaded. So it just depends
Mm-hmm.
on the day. I'm on IG. If I hear something dope, I look up the
Mm-hmm.
artist.
Mm-hmm.
And what hurts me is when I can't find that artist on those mediums. So
Preach.
so what I'll say is I would say this. I consume music, it just depends on the day. If I'm playing Al Green, I don't want to hear Al Green on MP3. I'm putting the
Right.
vinyl on. We're
Okay.
gonna get it popping. Like I'm gonna throw that
Okay.
on. You know what I'm saying? I might
Okay.
start mopping the
Okay.
floor or something. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
I grew up in a hip hop era, right? But my parents played this or that, and I had to listen to that in the car. I fell in love with that music, that soul. And then as I got older, I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Like listening to those lyrics, those songs, those beats, the melodies, the rhymes, how the stuff was put together, it's dope. So if I'm listening to Al Green or Marvin Gaye, or if I'm listening to Michael Jackson or Sade, that's going on the vinyl,
Mm-hmm.
most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's late, I'm coming from the club, it's getting in the car to MP3. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
right.
that's how I'm listening to it. But other than that, like if I'm riding or something, I'm usually on my title, I'm listening there. Or if I got, just scrolling through IG, I'm listening to new artists and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's different ways to skin a cat for me. I'm not stuck in a single way. I still listen to, guilty pleasure. I still listen to like some CDs because I like to
Okay.
open my old CDs and read the thank yous and all the credits. Like, I didn't realize he
Yeah.
wrote that. And that's how I found out DJ Monte had all them credits because I'm looking at some of these old. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I used to
Right.
like that. Like, some of them got posters in there, little gems and stuff. And then I'll be looking at publishing companies. I'm doing like background work. Like, I wonder what that publishing deal was like. So it was like that.
So I hope you artists are listening right now because he really dropped a lot of jewels in there. Because let me kind of preface it. Number one, I would tell you never to do a CD, right? But he just told you, Reece just told you that if
Well,
you do
wait,
a
wait,
CD,
wait. Let me clear that up because I see folks laughing like not the CDs. I agree. Don't do a CD now.
No. Wait. Because I heard a jewel in what you said, though.
Right.
What you said was if you do it correctly, if you get your cover art, you get a mini poster inside,
Right.
you get credits, you credit your stuff so people can go through it, then you might have something, right? Because now you're doing something that people miss. Because right now, you can't check a credit. You can, but it's hard to check credit.
It's no CD players in new cars. It won't be.
Correct.
By 2025, there will be
It won't
CD
be
players in cars.
None of my computer either.
In the studio here is none here. So, but I will say this. If you have a crowd of a certain age, right? Or you got a fan base that's little to old to new, right? I would say as a collector's item, because we talk about NFTs and non-fungible transactions and stuff now, right? But some people like fungible transactions.
Correct.
So if I say, all right, I got fans, right? And I'm going to do this. I'm going to print 100 CDs. Just 100. That's it. And they're going to have a poster, artwork, all this, all just this CD. I want you to give my album on Tidal, Spotify, Pandora, whatever. I want you to stream my album, right? But I'm giving away 100 CDs to my best fans and run a contest on your social media. That's dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, dang, you ain't forgetting nobody. Like, bro, I'm gonna get the CD, and it's a talking point. I can't play it nowhere, but I could. You know what I'm saying? I could show it off. Like, I got it. Mom Dukes or grandma, somebody might have the CD player. You know what I'm saying? And throw it in there like that.
The reason why we have magazines. Exactly. It's not the fact that they sell the magazine. It's the fact that you have something tangible. So people like buying things. People like being able to say, oh, if I can get a shirt, I want a magazine. And you can get all of it in there. That's right, little small promotion. You can't get a magazine at any time. So
I need one of those.
So hold on. You actually have your own magazine coming. So don't you worry, my friend. You are on the cover. We haven't dropped the cover yet. That's you know what I'm saying? Don't worry. We're going to take good care of you. I promise you that.
Right. And anybody got a CD player, just, hold on to it. It's going to be worth some bread. That don't mean you old. That just means you got a CD player. You know what I mean?
So what is the difference between music in the 2000s, we'll say? We won't go all the way back. We'll just say in the 2000s to music now in the 2020s. What's some of the differences that you've seen, other than, of course, the streaming and stuff like that? But let's kind of get some in depth on some of your differences that you've seen.
You mean the artistic approaches?
Yeah.
I think it's a little more accessible now. So you're getting way more perspectives on who can make music. So like at the time, especially in the early 2000s, you had a lot of this. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just talking about the approach. When I say disco, you know what disco was? Disco was talking about bright lights, flashy clothes, big cars, good times, a lot of crazy stuff going on in the club, right? That was what disco was based on. I was never in that era, but I heard some of the music and I was like, oh, that's early 2000s hip hop. Big cars, big rims, big chains, big ass clothes, all that. You know what I mean? Like it was money music. And to have that you had to have the high budget videos. You had to have all the jewelry. You had to be able to keep up. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of the artists, it was kind of out of reach for some artists. Now you had your artists that was still giving you that raw, real music. You know what I mean? But now I think what we have is almost anybody can have a home studio. You could drop a song without it being mixed and mastered, and if it's people like it, they're gonna consume it through social media, right? So it leveled out the playing field that anybody can make music. Now, anytime everybody
made his career off of it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So if everybody can do something, you're going to have a slope of quality. So you're gonna have really good stuff. You're gonna have okay
really
stuff.
Bad.
You're gonna have some not so great stuff, right? Because everybody can do it. Now, live your dream, chase your dream, do your dream. That's what I'm gonna say. some people need applications to go work at a store.
For
Some
sure.
people shouldn't do this
For
professionally.
sure.
And some people should, you know what I'm saying? They should keep doing what they do. So what I see, to answer your question, because sometimes we get to talking on answer questions. What I see to answer your question is I just see a wider range of people able to do music, but that gives us a wider range of angles of people to tell stories. Because in the early 2000s, you can't get an artist like Kodak, right,
Right.
on the
For sure.
mainstream.
Not
You
at
can't
all.
get
That's a
those
fact.
stories because they're gonna say he's not polished.
That's a
That's what they're
fact.
gonna say. He's not
Yeah.
polished, but it's 100 Zoes and 100,000 people that can relate to him, and
Mm-hmm.
the label can't dictate to those people what we're gonna give them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have that. Like we have more female artists now than ever. Why? Because you aren't controlled by what a label gonna say. Okay, we're gonna put you out now. We're gonna put you out. Nah, the social media is the streets now, and they're gonna make it hot. You
That's a
dig what I'm
fact.
saying?
That's a
So
fact.
it's just a wider range of music. That's what I see. Just a wider range of music. You know, I don't like to say this era was better than this. I think this era was great for this type of music and this thing. The next era was great, but it's different than this era. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's great. It's
Yeah.
dope. And then you got artists that I personally like and connect with because that's the type of music I make. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or I would make what
Right.
my approach would be. So I like J.
Right.
Cole, I like the Kendricks, I like this person, I like that person. You know what I'm saying? Like I like Lil
Yeah.
Baby, I like this. So it's all over the place.
No, that's fire. That's fire. That's fire. So I know you are a busy man, so I'm gonna wrap it up, and we're gonna end with how you're doing. So let's talk about Reese, right?
Right.
So what are some of the things that you have going on currently? And then when you answer that, I got something to ask right after that.
All right. So first and foremost, my family, I love my family. Appreciate
Mm-hmm.
working with my pops every day. You know, as my
Mm-hmm.
manager and as a
That's fire.
co-owner of Media Campus West. Anybody in Atlanta, you need a spot to do podcasting, content creation, recording music, hit us up, MediaCampusWest.com, right?
Fire.
I love with
Fire.
that. That's one thing. Second thing, I love doing radio. Obviously, love it. Podcasting. Check out the shows. You know what I'm saying? ReeceRadio.com for all the information. Follow me on IG. Third, Positive American Youth, nonprofit organization. That's what we
Mm.
do. Under that, we got Ice the Bully Books, which is a book, you know, I've created, blessed to be able to get kids into literacy, because that word business, the kids that understand and get on the head of the curve, the literacy curve, for whatever reason, it's just facts, they are less likely to be arrested
Right.
and incarcerated for over a year,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's one thing I'm real passionate about, pushing in literacy. We have a food pantry here. We give out, you know, hundreds and thousands of pounds of food every month. So check out Positive American Youth, PayUSA.com. You know what I'm saying? PayUSA.com. So that's that. Those are the things we're doing right now. You know, family, the nonprofit, the radio. Of course, I'm hosting. Like in this weekend, I'm in LA. I see the hat you got on. This weekend, I'm in LA hosting an event out there. So follow me, you know what I mean, and check out all the endeavors. If y'all want to support the nonprofit, if you can't get out, do your own, support different nonprofits, and I appreciate if y'all can support ours. Positive American Youth is payusa.org. And then mental health wise, because you asked, am I okay? It's a lot always going on. So I got a
Facts.
special project that I'm working on, a homesteading project. So I like raise chickens. You know what I'm saying? So I do
That's
that,
fire.
and I still do music as a form of therapy. You know, my producer like, yo, you need to drop this. I'm like, I don't know if folks gonna be ready for that because I'm doing some radio and all that. You know what I mean? But
I
I
mean,
do
who else
music.
better to push your own music?
That's true. That's true. So yeah, so I might leak a couple things and let the people decide. You know what I mean?
Mine as well.
Yeah. So I have a historically dope producer. Like this dude has credits out of this world, and I was writing for artists. You know what I mean? So I was
Yeah.
writing for artists, and you know, we had some things that charted. Can't name
That's
who,
right.
but you know,
That's right. That's right.
it's still, I'm still there. You know what I'm saying? But
That's right.
I just haven't dropped nothing for me. But he just like, bro, you got like 100,000 songs, bro. What we doing?
That's
So and shout
real.
out to Saint Vincent, man, Heavy Records. Shout out my guy. So
That's
yeah,
real.
so
Okay, so the back end of that question was, what's next?
all right, so that's a crazy question. So what's next is Media Campus West. We would love to have this is a plan. This is gonna happen. So we're gonna have media campuses across the country, across different places. You know what I mean? And that's so people
Yes.
can have a nice, safe space to build content. But you're
Yeah.
not just coming in and recording and leaving. Like we're gonna give you a production plan, show you how to get your syndication as far as podcasting. You know your simple syndicate. You know how to go. So showing people how to do that, how to get it distributed, all the things, front end, all the way through. You know what I mean? Marketing strategies, because like I said, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. So we have all that lined up. Like if I showed y'all around the studio right now, we got 4 podcast rooms. We got a green screen, chroma green room. You know, we got all that. We got meeting spaces and all of that stuff. And that's where I broadcast from every day. You know, the syndicated show, shout out my boy Potty Ali, the gang, my syndicated show. We broadcast from out of here. You know what I mean? Shout out to Michigan and Miami, Indiana, and all the spots we in. So it's dope. So, but the game plan is to build that up. Might drop some music, have the nonprofit. The bigger I get, the entertainment world, I always want to feed more into the nonprofit. So right now we probably doing 50 to 100,000 pounds of food a month in our food pantry. I would love to do that across the country. You know what I'm saying? Spreading that literacy across the country also. So that's always going to be the goal. And then the third thing is like my far down the line retirement. I'm trying to retire on a farm, bro. Give me some land. You know what I'm saying? Get some chickens and more chickens and goats and all of that. You know what I mean? Like I think that's important for people to know how to, even if you don't ever want to do it, know how to do it. Because if something happens, like, bro, like I'm growing food, I got chickens. Like my TikTok right now, like I just dropped a video on a way to keep chickens not being bored. I just got like 100K views in like 20 hours.
Right.
Just off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I posted a video of me interviewing T.I., 20, 30,000 views. I post a video with a chicken, 100K views. Like people want to know how to do this. It's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and Tip was a dope interview too. So I'll just say that. But yeah, bro, it's that's the goal line is doing that. Like being self-sufficient, and they're teaching people how to homestead and making it dope. Like I ain't out there in no overalls and all that. Like I got on J's and you know what I'm saying, hoodies and all that. Like I'm doing it like how I would live my life. Like you know what I'm saying.
I went to like I said, I went to Utah State, man. The state stands for agricultural,
so
you know, man.
Okay,
you know. And I always said that's one thing they should have taught us, right, in school, because it would be number one. We know we eating some bull. We know that. It ain't no questions about it. Everything and that's got to be more important to us as humans, right? Is what we consume, what we eat. So I'm big on farming. I actually have went on long tangents about the schools not teaching us how to farm. So trust and believe, my brother. I understand more than I'm probably should.
That's crazy you said that. We did a partnership with a school around the corner. They got goats and chickens and all that now.
See?
We showing the kids like early. It's elementary. That's crazy. But you're right.
See?
Like, bro, I've cracked. And I did a side by side. You go on my IG and my reels. I think it's on my reels on my IGTV. You'll see it. Like I did a comparison of store bought eggs that say fresh. And egg I just got out of my backyard. And folks like, yo, that's crazy the difference. And they would never know. If you never saw the difference, you'll never know.
Come on now. Come on.
Right.
I ain't even gonna go into it. Because you are exactly correct. Well, Reece, there's one thing I gotta do. I gotta send you out the right way. Because if there's one thing I know that you do, is this song right here. So I gotta, because this is a music platform, I gotta put a song on that represents you, my brother, right now.
Appreciate that.
And this is how I go. Shout out to the sponsor, Bump Pop. Shout out to the sponsor, He Heals. But this right here is my boy Reece, you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let me hit my hype bell.
We appreciate you, my brother, for coming through, dropping so much knowledge. That we'll be able to check this out afterwards. We get tons of views when it gets done, so we check back and run them up. You feel me?
No doubt, no doubt. Appreciate y'all, man. We'll steal some of this interview.
Oh, hey, let's do it. That's a done deal. You can have it all. Say no more.
No doubt.
All right,
All right,
brother,
fam.
check it out.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Hey man, hey man, I'm feeling real flex. I'm feeling real flexy right now. You feel me? That's what we do. We bring in the people that's gonna drop jewels. Okay? I'm only here to be a tunnel for you artists. I'm only here to make sure y'all get this information. I'm only here that we can all get to the top. That's what it's about. I ain't never trying to hold nobody down. I'm always trying to bring you up. And you heard that man tell you yourself. If you didn't hear it, go play it back. You should